You really adapted the podcast.
That was your opening joke.
Wait, what are we recording about? I don't even know what we're talking about.
That it's a surprise.
We're definitely starting with all of that.
Okay.
We are talking about...
All right.
Actually, I'll introduce it, and then you can't be prepared, and it'll be like a surprise. It'll be like, yay! Like Sesame Street's word of the week.
No, don't even introduce me. And then just like I'll come out. Well, what are you guys talking about?
And then we'll have a really 90s sound effect of a door opening and goes,
As if we're all in the same room.
Yeah.
This one massive room that spans from England to the Philippines.
Welcome to the 5th PCGMedia podcast with myself, Michael Cromwell. We're here again with Justis.
hello, I'm Asian.
We're here again with also Dean.
Wanna touch it.
And Anna, who is not hungover this time, I think.
What's up, guys?
Are you hungover?
No, I'm not.
Oh my god, it's a Christmas miracle. So today we're going to talk about... that was really mean of me. Today we're going to talk about Dead Island Riptide. And with that, on the Xbox comes a special edition... woman's torso with a suspiciously busty, bust going on here. We'll link a picture here, and it's been taken as a appalling, grotesque statue by Rock Paper Shotgun. Basically, the statue's been condemned by pretty much everyone in the industry because it's pretty sick. I mean, you can look at it now. It's actually
repulsive.
a 31 centimeter stool.
It is pretty.
Well, I mean, okay, repulsive is a strong word.
I would say
It's
pretty.
Well, I define repulsive as something that just makes me go,
It's
"Ugh."
ugly. Yeah. No, but it's more than that. It's not just repulsive. Seems pretty subjective. This is pretty clearly like screwed up.
This is, it's obviously a throwback to sort of 1980s hammer horror sort of thing, like gory set pieces, severed arms, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's gonna, I don't know what the actual price is yet, it hasn't been confirmed, but it appeals to extreme fans of, slasher horror and things like that. And for me, I always thought that was a legitimate sort of hobby, wasn't it? Like an interest in hammer horror and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
when was that not okay?
I'm not saying they shouldn't sell it. I'm saying that it makes me cringe. Yeah.
No, to be fair though, hammer horror and the B movie, that was ages ago. I mean, those kind of films kind of focused on plain shock value instead of an actual story.
Yeah,
but again,
what about people like Eli Roth and Hostel and Cabin in the Woods and things like that? Surely
Miguel's looking up
still around.
Todd McFarlane right now.
I think it's mostly because the statue is, a bust, tits with blood.
Yeah.
Which is basically what Dead Island is about. One of the main selling points is that it's a zombie game, it's pretty open world, and, you're on this beautiful island with, chicks in bikinis and zombies. So it kind of sums up the whole game in one statue, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm surprised a lot of people have been outraged, because it mirrors a game that everyone's enjoying right now. Did you just wake up and realize that Dead Island was pretty sick?
If they're going to condemn the statue, then they have to condemn the game as well. They're not being fair.
I agree. I mean, people have been saying things like, "Oh, well, where are you going to put it on your mantelpiece next to a picture of your nan?" And it's like, well, you don't fucking have to put it on your mantelpiece, do you? It's going to be in some guy's bedroom or whatever. It's not something you would take to your family and say, "Hey guys, look at this," because obviously that would be offensive. But within the right context, just a cool collectible item. Why are you offended? Why are people offended?
Yeah. They're in my dad's prop department, there's severed heads and stuff like that. They just put them out because they're like, look, these are cool props, and this is a prop department. It's relevant decoration,
No, but it's different for you guys because you guys have it as props for work. People buy this statue with the game.
I have an abnormally high amount of Kamen Rider toys.
Yes, you do.
That's great.
Yes, you do.
No, but I go to a lot of toy stores and like collectible toy stores and stuff, and see the Todd McFarlane line, they've got their Wizard of Oz line has sexy Alice and things like that, and not to mention the Japanese statues. They came out with a bunch of anime style DC heroes recently. I think they're called like Amikami or something like that, and they're like
hypersexualized.
Really hypersexualized.
I think the thing here, though, that the repulsive thing is the combination of sexualization and gore. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, but that's
the thing I understand about
that's
it.
something that's been enjoyed for like ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not in the same thing.
Like Sam Raimi's
Really?
Evil Dead 1 had a girl getting raped by a tree.
Yeah.
And like you actually see like the tree vine move in and out of her. Like you don't see the vagina, of course, but you
Yeah.
see the skirt and like.
Yeah, I'm sure
you
if
do
you
see a
show,
vagina
like,
in Dead Island, though. So.
Do you?
do you?
There's this one character that wasn't wearing underwear. This
yeah,
whole thing. There was this whole thing about it.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah.
The
I did
thing,
not know that.
the problem that I think with this is the packaging, because the packaging is transparent, and I personally wouldn't
Ooh, actually,
go
that's
in
a
a
fair
game store.
point.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in a game store where
You're
I
right,
could
actually.
see this package.
Those Japanese
Because-
statues are also transparent packaging, though. It's but
Yeah, actually,
But, I mean,
we
are
should
they
talk
gory?
about that.
Are they necrophilic?
We well, I mean,
No.
in Japan,
some might
let's
be.
just get this out there. In Japan, there's a statue for every fetish. Let's just be honest now.
I'm not going to argue with that.
I mean, pansexuality in Japan is pretty uniform. Sexualization of objects is something that they live with on a daily basis. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that if you're I think what the problem is, people go, wow, look at this statue of a pair of tits, and then they go, oh look, they've been slashed up, therefore it's disgusting. They're putting tits and gore together, but I don't see the statue and think tits and gore. I look at the statue and I think tacky collectible item. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But if
No, but it's supposed to be a tacky collectible item. Like you said, it's like a... I don't think they get that. They don't get the reference, I guess. They think it's just, a statue of tits with blood on
yeah,
it.
I think that if you call it appalling, like Rock Paper Shotgun did, I think that you're looking too deeply into what is essentially a novelty item that that references the Hammer horror. It parodies the game almost. It's not serious, and I really take issue with the idea that if the breasts were smaller, it would be somehow less offensive. I mean, they're focusing on the size of the bust as if that's what makes it offensive. I don't get why, like a D cup is more offensive than a B cup. And they could say, well, that's not true at all. That's not what we're saying. And it's like, then why did you point out the fact, that the breasts are quite large if it's not about the breasts? It's like the Tomb Raider thing all over again. They're sexualizing the statue. And then they're taking it out on Deep Silver for giving them something to sexualize. It's like, it's your problem. That's my
I've
view.
just realized that I'm an actual hypocrite. Because in our local game store, it's actually right next to a hobby shop that sells collectibles such as this, and there are severed heads and whatnot in the shop window.
And that's a kid's store.
Yeah.
That they've got.
That is pretty screwed up.
They've got Lego Star Wars. They've got Lego, like the Star Wars kids toys in there.
I mean,
I know that.
Obviously, these kinds of busts are for adult collectibles, and they're very, very expensive. But like it stands, it's the same thing. I mean, it's a shop that in the glass window there's gore.
And the owners of the store know that kids go there as well.
Yeah, but then again, they've never been sued. I think
Right. Well, dude, to be fair, the Philippines doesn't really care about that kind of shit.
That's the thing. That's what I was just about to say, is that I think that, it's all to do with desensitization and like what are the standards of your culture's desensitization.
Exactly.
So like if this came out here and it was in
they
the
would
game,
be pretty pissed off. They would be pretty pissed off, definitely, because this is pretty, this is plain shock value. But then again, like if they did this in like one store in some random mall, then nobody would give a shit.
But the thing is,
let's say
I don't think
if it was a big ad campaign about this bloody bust like statue, then people would get pissed off. It's because it was publicized so much.
that's a good point. Is that this is mass produced?
Yeah, but that's the shit. I don't think that Deep Silver even thought that this was that shocking. I thought they produced it and they thought, wow, this is awesome. Like, the demographic's going to think this is a really awesome thing. And what I mean by awesome, I really mean that in the American sense, as in like shocking, everything that entails. It's awesome. Like it's, you're in awe of it because it's so weird. Yeah. But I don't think that they they built it thinking that anyone would be offended, and I don't think there's any real reason to think that everyone would be offended. I mean, sure, I can see why people would be offended, but that doesn't make it offensive. It just makes it potentially offensive, and everything's potentially offensive. That's the problem I have with
how
it.
this is offensive to British people because it's a British flag and there's some blood on the British flag.
There's an American one
That's
as
a good
well.
point.
There's an American one as well.
Oh,
There's
an American flag as well.
Yeah, I just saw one as well.
okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
American flag bust.
What? You spilled the blood on the American flag?
The thing is that to me it's gross, but like, I mean, to me also
it
like
is gross.
I don't want to sound like an idiot, but who is that guy who's made a sculpture and all it's called urinal, and all it is an upside down urinal, and people actually literally piss in it in art galleries.
Because
What's
it's
his name?
art.
Like, that to me is repulsive. It's also
No, but
you
it's
know.
art. Like, we were talking about this in the previous podcast we did about how video games aren't considered art yet. Well, maybe not yet, but like definitely not considered art by the mainstream. Which is why you can't do shit like this, like, release a statue like this, because people will just think you're opting for shock value instead of proper,
Well, I think we should.
Deduction,
To be fair, we should point out that the urinal by Marcel Duchamp was.
That's him.
It was created because it was the whole point was that someone had designed this urinal. Therefore, it was a discussion on what makes something art. Because there is an aesthetic, there's an actual thought about aesthetic put into the creation of the urinal, and therefore he argued that it was something that could be put into a gallery, because there's no distinction between something that is designed for application and something that's designed purely to enjoy in an art gallery. That was the point, and from that came modern art.
So basically what we're talking about in most of our podcasts is like, what defines art, and is it just skill made to make something aesthetically pleasing, to invoke something emotional? Like, what is it?
Well,
Which
that's
is
just
interesting.
it.
But
there's no accounting
so
for taste. There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah,
It's completely subjective.
so that's the point, basically.
yeah.
So you could argue the same thing about the Dead Island bust. You could argue
No, but
it.
again, there's no, like, they're not going to agree with you when you say that this is like an expression of art, because it's not.
Yeah.
It's like it's commercial, dude. They're mass producing this and they're selling it to the public.
That's the problem. That's the
yeah,
thing,
exactly.
is
That's
that it's
exactly the problem.
mass-produced.
I mean, you can look at it and like kind of comment on how well made the statue is, or whatever the fuck, or how well designed it is, or some shit. But no, when you get right down to it, it's mass produced in a factory and it's distributed to the public. So I don't think that's art. Maybe like
interesting.
skill. It's skill for sure, but like the piece as a whole, comes with a game. You put it next to your. It doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs on your desk. This isn't it. I wouldn't say it's art.
Well, obviously,
the game is also mass produced.
Obviously, there was no intent to produce it
Yeah,
to be
of course,
put into
of
a
course.
gallery. But I mean, you could
But
say.
now it might get there, actually.
But what if-
considering how much
Well,
bad
that's
publicity it's
exactly
gotten?
I mean, in years to come, it could be put into a gallery for cheap, tacky, items that you can get in collector's editions. I mean, that's a perfectly feasible thing, and then it would become a piece of art. I mean, what defines art is really something you can only look at in retrospect. I mean, merely talking about anything justifies it as art because it's been a discussion. When you look at something visually and then it becomes a discussion, it's therefore art in some extent. I mean, I
Well,
would
I
say
guess
it's high
it
art,
depends on
but-
what you. I guess it depends on what you define as art. But for me, it's like you can't just like take a shit on a canvas and call it art. And even if you're like this rich bastard, take a shit on a canvas and hang it in a gallery and make millions of dollars. I don't think that's like. I don't really understand that.
But I mean,
There was an artist who literally did that with semen.
Yeah, see, exactly. It's like anyone can fucking do
yeah, but
that.
what
It's
was
just
the
that this
discussion?
guy has
But the
status.
point is that not everyone did. Like, if you're the first one who does something and then it evokes a discussion, you've done something. It justifies the act of doing it, and therefore it's art. That's really what
Is Steve-O from Jackass stapling his nuts to his leg art?
Yeah, see, exactly. There you go. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, but he didn't staple his nuts to a canvas in an art gallery. He just did it on a TV
It's
show.
one of those points that
That nobody, I guess, like nobody's wrong, nobody's right type situation.
I do wonder why people have complained about stuff like this, where things like this is nothing. Like, if you go to like any toy store, like with like adult collectibles,
And I mean, those collectibles, it depends. The thing is that how many of these are they going to make? Are they going to ship it out with every
No,
game?
it's
Because
limited. Very limited.
the problem
It's a limited
is
edition.
And the thing is that with every limited edition, the thing is that we're sort of, no matter how you argue about this, you sort of dig yourself into a hole where at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is numbers, because it's the same product. And whether it's considered to be a piece of art or a piece of cult, prop, or like a cult prop, like, a severed Terminator head or whatever, or like whether it's a really inappropriate, game add-on, basically, all depends on how many of them basically are made, how much it is, where it's being sold. And that's all really, really shallow. That's why it's so difficult to make points about this one, because
What are people actually complaining?
like who actually designed this? Was it Todd McFarlane? Because it looks
not
like
sure.
Todd McFarlane.
I'm not sure, but
Because
I'm not sure actually.
I don't think Deep Silver have disclosed this. Probably because he doesn't want his Twitter account to be like destroyed. The biggest objection that Western media's had, mostly left-wing media, it's another massive left-wing media thing. It's like not that I'm right-wing. I'm just I'm centre-left, just to put that out there. It's because it's objectively obscene. You could say that's obscene, but whether or not you like it or not is something else. It's obscene objectively, but you can enjoy it subjectively. That's why it's an easy target. But there are people are people like Total Biscuit who went too far and said, "Don't buy it. It's obscene. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Do not buy it."
What the fuck? The statue or
The
the game?
statue.
Right. But he didn't say anything about the game being.
No.
Did he say don't buy the
No,
game?
he said don't
See,
buy
that's
the
just
statue.
stupid.
Don't buy
Like
the
I
statue.
said a while ago, if they're going to condemn the statue, they have to condemn the game as well.
The dogs.
That's absolutely not fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what?
Okay.
because they're thematically linked. That's why.
What, the dogs?
Yeah, the dog barking and.
It's thematically linked.
And when I say
okay, stop
thematically,
now.
I'm not talking about there's a theme of justice in Dead Island, or there's a theme of I don't know, I'm not talking about this, academically. I'm just saying in Dead Island, you buy that game to see tits and gore.
Yes.
And what they've given you with this bust is tits and gore.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with that completely, to be honest.
Isn't the first Saw movie is a severed foot or something?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
but I think at this point we've got to
poster.
raise a distinction between severed foot, severed head, and severed tits. Obviously severed tits.
It's not
different.
severed tits, it's a whole torso.
It's a
the
torso.
torso.
It's a severed head, severed arms, and severed legs.
Yeah, but
So just, in short, a torso.
yeah, but there's a difference between a torso with a big pair of breasts and a head. Do you not think?
This is true.
I don't,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're kind of like
personally,
taking
it
away.
doesn't affect me. It's still a severed
It
body.
doesn't affect me either. I'm
I
just
don't
saying that I
care.
understand that people could see a distinction between each thing. I mean, hey, I'm the guy that doesn't get offended by anything. I don't give a shit.
I think
It's
it's because it doesn't have a face. I mean, I'm sure it's also
think-
because it has big tits, but I think one of the biggest reasons why people got pissed off is because it doesn't have a face. It kind of dehumanizes it. It dehumanizes like a sexual. It's a sexual. It's a statue
I
that
I can get behind
yeah,
that.
that's a good
Right?
point.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah. I know what I mean. I mean, for me, I do actually feel a bit more grossed out by this than I would a severed head, and I think that's
Exactly.
because it's sexualized a little
It's
bit.
because I guess people get freaked out that they're somehow aroused by big tits.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
It doesn't have a
like-
head.
Yeah.
It's not human kind of thing. You don't see its face. It's dehumanized. So it kind of freaks people out a little bit.
There you go. That's why and I suppose in terms of like what this statue, if it had any artistic, thought behind it, I suppose that's what the statue was supposed to invoke, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's called zombie bait. Like, it's literally because
Oh, it's called
maybe-
zombie
Yeah.
bait?
Yeah, there's-
As in you're supposed to throw this
Yeah.
and zombies will be sexually
Not
attracted
sexually
to it or
attracted. What are you
whatever.
talking about? You sound like Fox News.
Because if it's zombie bait, why not throw a foot? Or like,
In the game, you can, right? You can. No, wait.
Can
which
you?
game was it?
If it's-
Dead. Right.
if it's zombie bait, I'm sorry. If it's zombie bait, this is the worst bait ever. It's the heaviest section of the
Okay,
body.
well.
No,
You
no,
can't.
we're not talking.
You
we're
can't
not
then
talking
divide
logically.
it into other
But
sections.
We're
they're
not
not
talking
actually.
logically here.
They're not actually. No one's actually going to throw this model to some zombies. There's no practical
No,
application.
but I mean, like,
That's
there's no.
a-
We're
but no,
not
but,
talking
like, I
about its
think this is-
practicality.
Yeah.
We're talking about how, like, they obviously use a torso because it invokes the more. It's more shock value.
Well, obviously-
I mean, if you're just gonna give them
Yeah.
a statue of a fucking foot, then they're not
A
gonna
hot
fucking
But
buy
if
it.
it
torso
was,
is
let's
something
say,
that
if they're-
people are going to want. on their desk. No one's got a foot on their desk. Well, some
Exactly.
people might.
Exactly. Well, people are gonna people would rather have tits on their desk than a foot.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah.
But would a head be better?
Well, I mean, it depends on what
Or
you're
maybe
into,
a head
man.
is too overdone.
Like stares
Depends
at your,
what you're
your
into,
soul.
man.
Well, let me tell you what,
Depends what
actually,
you're
this is a
into.
good point. This is why a head wouldn't work, right? Okay? Because a head, with its shoulders, is what a bust is, a statue bust is. It doesn't differentiate itself in a zombie type theme. It's like having a head of Caesar on your desk. That's what a bust is.
True.
It's just, there's nothing to do with the game. It has to be a body part. And it can't be an arm. You can't have a statue with an arm on your desk, can you? It's ridiculous. You can't have a statue with a leg. It doesn't make any sense. So you can only have a torso. And then who's your main demographic for this game? Is it going to be men or is it going to be women? It's going to be men. So you have a female body. You don't have a man body. And you can say, some gamers are gay, so they're like a man. And it's like, yeah, fine, some gamers are gay. There are loads of different variables. The main demographic is male men, and male men would rather have a bust, a torso,
As opposed
with a
to
bust.
female men?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I would rather have that than a dude's severed body, like with abs and.
And you could, and a second
true,
point with that. A second point with that is that you can say, well, what is it about our society where men would rather have a female chest rather than a male torso, and all this bollocks in between? This isn't the right context for that discussion. A video game company is giving away a cheap, tacky object, and it's not the right context for a discussion on the way society is. Not from people who enjoy cutting people up in video games. It's not sensible.
I think that's the core of it, isn't it? I mean, for the past 3 episodes, we've been talking about controversies, right? And the thing is that with video game controversies, everything is about being offended. And offended comes from human nature. And video games aren't the right place to discuss human nature. It's stupid.
Next fucking podcast, we're discussing game mechanics.
I think we can all agree that Deep Silver's accuracy and their marketing strategy basically fucked themselves over, because that was the best that they could do to advertise their game, I guess, to create a statue that so fucking represented the game. Good marketing strategy.
You know what? That's what they've done from day one.
Yeah, but people
have you seen that fucking trailer?
Yeah, I saw it. It's did people get pissed off about that trailer?
I got pissed off about that fucking trailer because the game has nothing to do with protecting your family or tragedy or it has no cinematic
I meant
value whatsoever.
Your I guess offensive scale.
No, I think what it hit home.
No, right?
It hit home most with people who had kids because they watched, a kid die and they were thinking, what if that was my kid, falling out the window? That's what.
But they weren't.
That's what
it wasn't a
mostly.
Controversy, was it? That trailer was like, oh my god, it's so artsy, it's so beautiful.
No, it wasn't a controversy. It was just the fact that people felt ripped off by the fact that the game came out and it was first person Dead Rising.
I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that people did feel ripped off because it was a good game. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it didn't really reflect the trailer.
Yeah,
I felt
when
that.
does a game ever reflect the cinematic trailer anyway?
It doesn't. Well,
I think it should. I think we're in a. I think there was definitely a lot of backlash because of it, and I was on that bandwagon because I think that we've reached a point.
I have to get this off my chest. Yeah. If you are someone who trusts marketing and promotional materials to accurately represent a product, then you've got no right being offended because you're an idiot. Because they're designed to sell the product. It's fucking promotional material. Of course it's not going to reflect the product. I mean, you can watch my video on promotional material.
I mean,
I totally agree.
It should it would reflect the product.
To some extent. To some extent.
I think,
to some extent.
Yeah, but not
I wasn't gonna. I didn't think the graphics would be that good. I didn't think the whole game would be in slow motion.
Okay, well,
I didn't think I would be saving that
No,
particular.
but do you believe men's deodorant can attract females?
Yes.
It has.
No, I meant to the extent that how they show it in commercials. There was one fucking commercial. This guy put deodorant on, and then these super smoking hot chicks fell out of the fucking sky, and then oh my god, you smell so amazing. That doesn't fucking happen. But I mean.
That definitely no, but okay.
It's obviously exaggerated.
And Assassin's Creed 3 as well. I mean, that cinematic trailer for Assassin's Creed 3 saw a guy donned in American flags and stuff running through killing Brits, And,
Yeah,
and
that's
that the
not-
game
no.
was about how he had disdain for the American establishment. So that was the complete opposite.
Because
Yeah.
if an American sees that, they'll be like, "Oh my God, America, patriotism! I should buy this game."
And actually, it's interesting because we have to point out that both Deep Silver and Ubisoft Montreal are not American. I think Assassin's Creed was largely a French-Canadian game, and Deep Silver, I think, are Polish. I think they're Polish.
Well, I guess because if they show
Yeah, I think
a
that's
bunch
right.
of trailers of how this guy doesn't really like America that much, and they're French, and they're Canadian,
But, I mean,
they would get a lot
There's a
more
difference
rap for
between
it.
but I think there's a difference between for example, the Lynx advert, right? It's hyper exaggerated, more exaggerated than the Dead Island advert. But the thing is that why do you buy Lynx? You buy Lynx to smell good. Why do you want to smell good to impress the ladies? The advert is exaggerated, but it's telling you basically what you're planning to do with this product is actually what it's supposed to do, right? With the Dead Island advert, what it was is it showed no, combat other than like wriggling free of a zombie with like a bat in hand. It showed
wasn't a trailer.
Like none of the.
It was a teaser trailer.
Huh?
It wasn't a trailer. It was a teaser trailer. Teaser trailers.
It was a
It was a
2-minute
teaser
trailer,
and they're
man.
designed to pique interest in the product as a whole thing, including marketing, including merchandise and things like that. They're not designed.
Yeah, but
to.
what are they sparking interest
Yeah,
in?
but then-
What are they sparking interest in? Who
The
are they
universe.
appealing to? Are they appealing to the universe?
universe.
But,
People
but
who
when you
like-
make a
people who
trailer
like
like
tits
that,
and blood.
who is it going to attract? People who like,
Tits and blood. Tits and blood.
overpowered melee moves and fucking kicking zombies in the face until they explode? No, that's not who that trailer is appealing to.
Why?
Like, just name like with the Assassin's Creed trailer, it's a guy running around killing people, and yes, the connotation is wrong because it's the guy is super patriotic American, and he's running around killing lots of British people, and that's the whole trailer. But it shows you moves like from the actual game. It's telling you, look at the
So did Dead
beautiful
Island. So did the Dead Island
animations.
trailer.
Yeah, but combat isn't really
not
the.
that.
No, I don't think
Combat's not
there
really
was
the
any.
emphasis of Dead Island. It's more like a survival shit.
Yes.
What?
No. The Dead Island game was combat. It was like Borderlands, except with zombies. And it was
Yeah,
really
I played it.
focused.
I played it. a
Yeah, I
couple of
completed
times,
that game
for a
through,
while.
and
Yeah.
I kind of got what they were saying because the trailer was referenced in the game. You could go to that hotel room and you could find the bodies.
You could.
And
Yeah, I
like
know
that's
Yeah.
it for me. I mean, the trailer was a separate thing to the game. They're just two different things. That's how I see it anyway. The teaser trailer, and then that's referenced within the game, which is a different thing. And there were trailers after that showed the game how it actually was.
Actually,
it
I'd
wasn't
say Mass Effect
then
3 was. Mass Effect 3 did. Actually, now thinking about it, did the same thing with the London trailer. You meet
Yeah.
the guy,
That's true.
Yeah.
you meet the sniper, and that intro where it was like fight for Earth. That trailer would be argued
It's
that
kinda-
it looked like a survival game.
It's different though.
Okay,
because-
what food?
Okay, but like I would argue the same thing about Mass Effect 3 as well. It had a trailer where there was this girl like
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a-
What did that trailer show? I mean, that was. Do you play as a little girl, like running around a field? In
No, exactly.
Mass Effect
I'm
3?
saying I'm saying I hate it when that happens.
a
I hate it when the
trailer.
trailer is just like, here's a little slice of, but it came out way after the game was
It's
announced.
because it's a trailer.
But why
It's
can't you
different
just
because
Dead
it's
say,
Island was
subjective.
announced
It's
back in
subjective.
2008.
It's-
and
But why can't you just
It's
look
subjective.
at the
It's
teaser
di-
trailer and say, "Hey, that was a cool, artsy, well put together trailer," and then go, "Hey, I'm looking forward to this game," and then sort of look at it as it progresses. You shouldn't expect it to be the same as in the teaser trailer, especially when you know this thing goes on. So why would you trust it and then feel ripped off?
And it's different. It's
But
different as well
I-
because with trailers, it's all subjective. It's kind of like open to interpretation. How do you want to see
Yeah,
the
that's
game?
true.
But if you say if you think of like the whole business with War Z, how they really they blatantly misadvertised the game on Steam. They told you that there was going to be this big ass map and a couple of features. They listed features that were going to be in the game that
Yeah.
weren't. That's different because it's not a trailer. They were listing things that were supposed to be in the game. With trailers, they're not going to say that this is actually in the game. You're not going to play as this little girl in this field because it's supposed to be a show off of their, I guess, graphical capabilities.
Yeah, but even with pre-rendered cutscenes that are not linked, I expect, just like for example, I think that the bus is a better advertisement of what Dead Island is
Definitely.
than the trailer. because it doesn't. It shows you what Dead Island
It's
is
exactly
for.
what it's about.
What about
It
the
shows you the demographic that Dead Island appeals to.
what about the Halo live action teaser trailers? What about those?
Oh,
that
don't even
series?
get me
Oh, I
started
haven't
on
seen
that
it.
shit. I say this in my
Why?
top 10 actually. It's like, stop thinking that this shit, stop making Halo all about all the fucking extra shit that goes on that isn't gameplay. You know, all of the...
Oh, because Mass Effect 3 never
Yeah,
did that. Jesus Christ, if we're talking about extra shit that doesn't actually happen in the game, that game is a funnel vision.
I've never played anything other than
Christ.
Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and I understood it completely fine
I know,
with
but
just
I mean-
the games. Can't say the same about Halo thing.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of context. I mean, out of what you actually play in the game, there's a lot of context. When you're trying to build a universe, then you need to sort of build lore. It's like why PlanetSide 2 has novels. PlanetSide 2, you can't deliver a story through that game, so they have
know.
novels and literature. Like
I
The
have no
Darkness
problem
2,
with lore.
It's just lore building, but that's what
I have
these
no
trailers
problem
are.
with lore. My problem with Halo is that,
It's lore.
no. But my problem is that for like Reach, there was no character development in Reach. All the character development is from books and shit like that, and they expect you to know that, shit.
That was sort of a spin-off installment, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but it doesn't change the fact that as a game it was too referential.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
do you remember in Assassin's Creed 3 when you come across that Russian guy who's with the Templars? I had no fucking idea who that guy was, but apparently he was in the PS Vita game and the comics.
I have no
So
idea
that
who
was
that
another
guy
thing that
is.
was like
I don't even
referential.
know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't think I met that guy.
You know when you're chasing. No, you did. You chase him down and he has a gun and he's trying to shoot at you.
Oh, that
when
guy.
you're playing as Desmond.
Oh, fuck. I thought that was just
Yeah.
some random dude.
Right.
No,
He's Russian?
he's from the
He has
the
an American
comic
accent,
books
but...
Oh.
and the PS
Yeah.
Vita game. He's Russian, yeah.
Lol.
It's really weird. Like I didn't know what the hell that was about. That was
Yeah.
some referential crap there. They really fucked up. Yeah, I know what you mean. But
I mean, it stood alone.
Yeah, in terms of the
Yeah. It was okay as a standalone product because you didn't really need to play the PS Vita version to get it.
No, I know, but it was such a pivotal point in Desmond's story when he's like getting shot at and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he shooting Desmond?
Yeah.
Just explain yourself. Like, I don't read comic books, you know. Like, not everyone does.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
my...
You can't
but
put that
that's-
shit in a story.
That's my problem. I guess, yeah, of course I expect it from adverts. But I guess I'm upset because I think it shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like...
But I guess I know what you mean. But it's just lore building. It's just universe building. So you just give it some backbone, because if you didn't have that, Dead Island would just be a really trivial. They just tried to get some story.
I guess, yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
But I
If you just use the word lore, then it's sort of...
Yeah, you can just get away with anything by saying lore. As a side note, that's why I love The Witcher 2 so much, because it was so self-contained and linear, and they told the story really well.
I didn't even play The Witcher 1, and I love that game.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
The Witcher 2.
It's such a great example of storytelling in a video game. And it had loads of cool dwarfs that said cunt and things like that. That was awesome.
And that's why when I went to Wales, there were no people with Welsh accents. I was walking around, everyone had a London accent.
Really?
You know why? Because they were all in fucking Poland recording The Witcher 2. There were like 1 billion Welsh voice actors in that game.
Shit.
They had to shut Wales for like 3 weeks or something to do the
Replace them all with Londoners.
Oh no.
Oh, that's brilliant. So let's talk about the way Dead Island responded to the controversy. They said that hang on, let me just paraphrase here because it's too long. They basically said that they said, we sincerely regret this choice. We are collecting feedback continuously from the Dead Island community as well as the international gaming community at large for ongoing internal meetings with Deep Silk entire international team today. That's really it. They're just really sorry, and they said it would never happen again, but they will still sell it as far as I know, and in my opinion they'll still go ahead and ship it. So their apology was sort of just pandering to people who were both faking outrage and genuinely outraged.
I'm surprised about that.
Well, they apologised.
I think exaggerating outrage.
No, I think a lot of people are faking outrage just to sort of, it's like charity. I said it to my friend the other day. I said that being openly outraged about something is the lowest way of being charitable ever. to say, "Oh, I felt
That
bad about
is
this
so
a bit."
true.
So I feel bad
It's
about
like
this.
Facebook
Yeah.
Activision. We had that on.
really-
Yeah.
We were talking about that on DayZ, weren't we?
Facebook activity.
Facebook
Yeah, it's like
activists.
I really agree with that. It's like, oh, the plight of this thing is so deplorable. Oh, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna post it on Facebook. There's a quote here. Destructoid's Jim Sterling describes the bust as something you wouldn't want to miss. He said, "Jesus Christ." This is a quote. "Jesus Christ, what kind of sociopath would actually want this 12-inch resin nightmare? Even putting it aside the weird massage."
The weird message.
My bad. The weird message a sexualized corpse torso sends, it's just ugly. There are a few items I wouldn't decorate my office with, but this thing sure would be one of them.
Okay, so here's the
Decorates
issue,
their
right?
office with collectible things, man. Like,
Oh my! Like every
Here's the
single one
issue,
of the
right,
CG
okay,
guys
okay,
at my.
this is-
That's the.
This is really important, okay? The statue doesn't sexualize itself. We sexualize the statue. He sexualized the statue. Statues don't sexualize themselves. They're inanimate objects. They're not sentient beings.
Yeah.
They're not even sapient beings. You don't fucking sexualize yourself as a statue. What the fuck are you talking about? We look at the statue and we say, tits, blood. Oh, look, I've got a boner. I feel so bad. That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. I didn't sexualize the statue. My first thought was, that's a tacky statue. It wasn't, oh, look, oh, those breasts are so big and there's blood running down them and look at the sweat going across, the lower part near the vagina. My brain doesn't work like that. I'm not...
All right, how about this? All right, okay. I just looked something up.
sex.
In Germany, in Tübingen University, there's a big statue of a vagina. Why aren't people pissed off about that? It's in public, and it's a giant
Dead
vagina.
Islands. Dead Islands. It's not Polish. It's German. Deep Silver is German.
But
so
yeah,
that's
anyway,
double.
guys,
So,
guys.
the thing
God,
is
I'm
the
so
vagina
sorry.
disembodied?
Giant
Like, as in, is
vagina.
it severed? Is
No,
it like a
it's
severed
like
vagina?
a fucking giant vagina wall. It's a wall with a vagina on it. It's
Pictures,
there.
please.
Here, I'll send you guys a picture of it. God
A
damn.
vagina.
Can I just point something out, right? Most statues in this shape are disembodied. They're just, some don't have blood on them. That's basically the
Yeah.
only difference.
Yeah.
So
Busts don't have shoulder like
Yeah.
the rest of the shoulder.
So really, it's just a normal bust, except instead of covering the breast with leaves, like the Greeks did. No, the Greeks didn't actually do that. Well, we went and then put leaves on them all later
That's
in history.
true.
There's an interesting fact for you. Fucking school, bitches. So
And there's actually no, I'm not kidding. This is actually true. Wow, that is a vagina.
Exactly, it's a vagina wall.
There is actually a room in the Vatican. This is not a joke. This is
Oh, wait,
the
I know
truth.
this, I know this.
With all of the penises of all of the most famous Renaissance sculptures.
Yeah, I think it was
Just their
one of the
penises.
popes got pissed off because all the statues had like a bunch of dicks in them. So he took them out and replaced them with fig leaves. So yeah, somewhere in the Vatican, there's a
I'm
box of
taking
dicks.
credit
There's
for
lots
that
of dicks.
for that information. Totally taking credit for that. I brought that up.
of course, Michael knows
Straight
all
off the
about
top of my head.
dicks.
Yeah,
Right.
I totally went to school and shit. So,
Totally.
but
Yeah.
So I mean, if you look at it really, what the liberal left media are doing now, are they're being the people of the Renaissance who went back and put fig leaves over breasts and stuff. Except this time
Nice
they're doing
segue.
it. They're doing it on gore. They're rubbing
Yeah.
off the gore and they're putting fig leaves on and they're saying, "Don't be so uncultured. This is outrageous." Just let Deep Silver promote their game with the tacky statue and let people who want that buy it, because they're not going to go out and rape and kill people because they've got a statue on their desk. It's not a problem. And these are the same people who are defending video games from violence. It's like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
They're having their cake and they're
Exactly.
eating it, which is why they're so fucking
Yeah, it can't
fat.
be a hypocrite that way. Like, I mean, that's the thing, is that you could take this further. It's like, well, then is it why can't you have like a real severed foot that was donated by somebody or something like that on your desk, or as a collectible or something
That's
like
a
that?
really
You can take it
big
further
fucking-
and further and further.
That is far.
But
That's like interstellar far.
the
like in the other
problem is
direction.
that everybody has a line that they have to draw somewhere.
Yeah, I know
and
what
for
you
some
mean.
people, this bust is just that line.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that it's not a fucking severed torso.
Yeah.
This was not. There was no violence involved.
And it's also
with this
their
bust.
line. It's
you know?
their line. You shouldn't use a magazine to promote your own opinion on things that aren't
Yeah.
as black and white as that. I mean, I've voiced outrage in editorials and stuff, but I only really ever voice outrage at people who are voicing outrage. That's kind of my thing. Like, I'm the devil's advocate. I would never say, here's an object. Look at this object. I'm outraged. You should be outraged too. It's like, why the fuck should I be? Who are you to tell me what to be outraged at? Like, who the fuck are you?
Personally, I don't know why there's so much outrage with this thing, because to me it's so weak. It's so it's not. This is nothing compared to the other kind of toys you can find. It's nothing compared to what you can find in some games.
Yeah,
like this is such. It's such a small. Like it's not.
I think just the fact is
why are
that
they so sensitive to this and not to the other dozens and dozens and dozens of other things that are made like this, like the tits in God of War, the sex scene at the end of Far Cry 3.
What was that game?
What the fuck was that?
Dante's Inferno, dude.
Yeah.
The giant, tits
Dante's
and vagina
Inferno.
monster. Yeah, dude.
The way that game says it's Dante's Inferno actually has nothing to do with the poem.
Dante's Inferno toys. There were toys made of that. I'm sure they have some.
I'd like to bring up
tits.
in Duke Nukem Forever, there were women getting raped by aliens and tits on the walls. So
I remember
but
that.
people were like, it's ridiculous, so I don't care.
But did people get pissed off at that
Duke Nukem
back then?
statues. I'm
No,
sure
they didn't, because
they're
it's ridiculous.
Oh, there's definitely
So
an
I guess
appropriate
it does have
statues.
everything to do with the fact that it is a tangible object instead of it's on your screen. You can turn off your screen, but you can't turn off the statue.
It's a 30 centimeter tall, crappy resin statue, tangible object that you can sexualize if you want. That is definitely true. If you want to sexualize a stupid statue, you can do that.
It depends what you're into.
And actually, going back to the quote that Miguel spoke about, if, it doesn't take a psychopath to put this on the mantelpiece. You don't have to be a psychopath to find the gore or the aesthetic of gore, pleasing. Because in art galleries, we're going back to high art again, there are people who deliberately make horrible things look attractive, because aesthetic is completely subjective. Aesthetic isn't about beauty. Aesthetic is not subject to cultural beauty. It's just visuals in itself.
It's about invoking something.
It's the discussion of visuals itself. Like this has a certain aesthetic, and it will appeal to some people, just as it won't appeal to other people. It's not as black and white. And so therefore you can't say it's offensive, because it's only potentially offensive, and they're two different things, as we spoke about last week. Two completely different things.
Last week.
Yeah.
Week.
Are you implying we record these in a row? Because I don't know anything about that. I certainly.
When we give out those beta keys, when people say burritos,
What have we done? What have I done? What have I done? Only our true fans will know the answer. But I mean, contests like these, it's always an easy answer. It's like, what color is Master Chief's helmet? And it's always
what color is best?
It's funny though. When I was a kid and I used to watch all these questions go on TV, I thought I was a fucking genius because I knew the answers to them.
There's only there's 3 answers, and 2 of them were stupid as fuck. What color is this guy? Orange, gray, or blue?
And I thought people were stupid because they asked these questions. This isn't hard. Anyone can win these tickets. I could win the tickets.
What color is Buttercup's dress? Is it A, green?
Wait.
B,
I
pink, C, blue, or
genuinely
D,
don't know
white?
the answer to this. I guess it's because I'm not
when
a
you're a kid
6-year-old girl.
and you've just watched the Powerpuff Girls, and then they ask you the fucking question.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
During the show, showing the damn picture.
Oh my god! Do you know what I want to do? I want to get fucking 500 of these statues now. Just surround my room with them, just as a point. Just take a picture. I'm the editor of this magazine. Here are my statues. Am I a psychopath? Probably lose all credibility for the rest of my life.
Well, we can't really prove that you're a psychopath, can we?
That's true. And if I were, I wouldn't
that
admit it
he's
to
not.
myself. So there you go.
We wouldn't be able to find the proof.
Okay, here's a
That's a fun
cool one.
competition. Is Michael a psychopath? Answers next week.
Answers
What do
now.
they win?
They win a human
win-
core, a real
They
one.
win a real torso. We should make it like absolutely like no skill at all. It's like 100% guess. So, what color is Miguel's underwear? And whoever guesses it's right.
Well, that's a trick
Okay.
question because we know that Miguel does not wear underwear.
Oh, trick question! Shit!
I knew. I was like, I want to see, and he's not.
We would.
I'm not wearing
We would
any.
actually.
Oh, wait, I can't see
be,
the answer.
We'd actually be like investigated by like trading standards or something for doing like a misleading competition, like GMTV.
But we will give out shit.
I want you
like,
to
okay.
picture of Miguel's
All
ass
right.
or some shit to prove it.
But we have to prove it next time in the next
Yeah.
podcast.
Okay.
What's the name of Miguel's favorite comic
There you
writer?
go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, but
Well, it has
nobody
nothing to do with
fucking,
gore.
Like, I don't want to like break your heart, Miguel, but like a lot of people don't know what Kamen Rider is.
I only know it's you. You're actually the only person I know that like
Yeah.
watches that.
He's common.
He's basically like a Power Ranger without any friends. I mean, let's be honest.
He does have friends. He does have friends.
He has friends. There's always like a second
no.
common
Yes.
writer.
Okay,
is
he
true.
has a friend.
Anyway.
Snap. Oh snap!
So random for this week.
Oh no! I've actually got the question now. I've got the question.
Okay.
This is. I'll tell you
Okay.
after. You got to edit it out. Edit the answer out. Okay, right. Okay.
Okay.
What game did Miguel in his Call of Duty Black Ops 2 multiplayer review liken it to mechanically?
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That
there
is
you
a
go.
good question.
And the answer that you have to edit out is
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
that's a fucking good question.
Yes.
But because then they'll
That is
get
a
us
fucking
like
good
it'll get us
question.
like more
Michael.
views and shit. It's a trap.
Well, pick a guy at random. If you can guess or either watch the video and work out what game it was, you win a game. And I haven't decided what the game will be yet, but it will be a AAA fantastic title. In fact, it will be Dead Island. There you go. Going to be Dead Island.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna get a Dead Island key.
For PC, you'll win a copy of Dead Island.
Okay. Very well.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, there you go.
That's it. That's out of the bag. That's happening. On me.
Okay then.
Don't worry about it.
That's on you.
Don't me now.
That's on
That
you.
is.
That's on you. That's your budget. That's
Paid for by Miguel.
I'm keeping all of that.
So yeah, let's wrap up. Let's wrap this up. So for me, I'm not someone who gets largely offended by things. I like to look at things objectively and not get emotionally invested in statues and what they mean for society. I mean, I don't think the Mayans thought that a statue was going to make the world end, so it's not a problem. I know that, what do you guys think? Are you offended or not offended? Or how do you look at it?
Well, I think Mayan jokes are old.
Hang on, I dropped my headphones.
Secondly,
Just wait a sec.
also, I don't really for me, the sexualization of the statue is the last thing on my mind. I'm still confused why people find this offensive when there's so much worse toys out there.
Yeah.
There's a fucking dragon, it's a dildo.
Dildo's not a toy.
What people imagine dragons' dicks would look like. I'm not kidding.
What the fuck?
I'm not joking.
So you can pretend you're being
A dragon.
fucked by a
Wow.
dragon.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not joking. If that's existing,
They should
people have a problem with this. Come on.
should have given that away with Dragon's Dogma. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Dragon's
fantastic.
dildo.
Dragon.
Dragon
Shit.
dildo. With every copy.
Dragon smegma. Man.
with the free vial of
That's my
sperm.
opinion.
Okay, in my opinion, I think the statue is gross. I wouldn't want it, but what am I going to do about it? Am I going to complain to people? No, I'm just not going to buy it. That's because that's the right thing to do.
That's what should everybody.
unless you want it,
what
then you should buy it. If you want it,
Yeah.
buy it.
Yeah, unless you want it.
Yeah.
If you're planning on buying the statue, let us know why. Expect a lot of downvoting, whatever, do your thing. Tell us
We
why.
don't think you're.
We
any
won't
less of a
downvote
person.
you.
We, in
Yeah.
fact, will high five you.
Unless you say because I actually like chopping up women, because that's you shouldn't do that. Don't
do that.
Yeah.
Please.
Anna, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I just agree with everything. Basically.
Well, fucking yeah, that's wrapped up then. Jesus.
See that the feminists will get upset.
I agree.
Say,
But is it actually? But is it more offensive
All right,
not to
okay,
mention
well, I'd
feminists
say
or
what
to
I would
actually
say-
mention feminism?
Alright, I'll wrap it up. If you're going to condemn the statute, then you have to condemn the game as well. If you don't like it, then don't fucking
And
buy it.
don't condemn the game
That's
because
pretty
that's
much it.
dumb.
And don't condemn, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
can condemn the game all you want, but like, don't fuck up the developers' money and shit because they need their monies to make
that was
more
so
games that
eloquent.
offends people.
don't fuck up the developers' money and shit. Like, dude, don't fuck up their money and shit.
their
What
money,
the hell?
Good
Yeah.
times.
So, on that note,
Indeed.
thank you for listening to the 5th Media podcast, and leave your comments in the box below where you do that.
And
See
win
you
Dead
next
Island.
week. What?
Win Dead Island.
And win Dead Island by guessing the thing we can't repeat for unknown reasons. See you next time. No, I was just talking to someone about a dildo on Facebook. It's called, there's a dildo called the Fun Guy, and it's like fun guy. I get that. That's funny. Anyway,
Kind of gross.
Is it like a
we're
mushroom?
talking about dildos today.
I
No, it's
assume
just
that
a
it's
normal dildo,
very
don't worry about
fat. It's a fat dildo.
It
That
is
requires
actually
a lot of
it is quite a
girth.
fat dildo, except it's got a. Do you know what? I'll just yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh shit! I just sent it to the wrong guy. Never mind.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm keeping that shit. I am keeping that shit.